Hello and welcome to Sailing Elsie. My name is Seth and I aim to earn your subscription today. This week we have a lot to do and unfortunately Mason is busy this week. I wanted to wait for him to do this stuff, but I need to get it done. So let's go ahead, get this carburetor put back together, see if we can't get the engine fired, take it for a rip, and then I gotta pull the engine out. Let's get to it. All right, all surfaces are cleaned. Bowls and metering blocks are screwed back on. Now we just have to put on the supply rail and connect it to the fuel pump and turn it over a few times, fill the bowls with some fuel and see if she fires. All right, fuel line's hooked back up. Now we're gonna turn it over, fill the float bowls and then check for leaks. I guess she wants to run. Okay. That was a surprise. Didn't expect it to fire up. That's great. I guess I should really reiterate that. I expected it to run. I just didn't expect it to fire up while I was just filling the float bowls. Usually it takes a little bit of finesse or some starter fluid to get it started the initial time, and then it runs fine all day. In this case, it just fired up. So that's kind of a good sign. All right, I'm going to get it started, let it warm up a little bit, check for fuel leaks, and then also make sure that the cooling pump is cooling. All right, well, I put her in gear, she stopped running, and now we're just drifting down the river. I'll get her running, we'll see what's going on. A little bit frustrating because it ran great before. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so we are back in storage. Alright, a little conversation about desalination. I have picked up a 40-inch pressure vessel and seawater membrane. I also picked up two 21-inch pressure vessels, and I have a belt-driven pump which can be operated from an engine or an electric motor. My thoughts on this, and I graciously accept anyone's input on it, is that for my intended purposes, it would be great to have... My thoughts are that for my intended purposes, it would be great to have redundancy. And for me, that means having one system work off electricity and another system that is able to be powered by the engine. So that's what we're looking at doing. I was able to pick up these parts used, and this membrane is brand new, never used, and I don't have membranes for the 21-inch pressure vessels. But this is just the beginnings of it. There's still more to come. I need pre-filtration and a pre-pressure pump and a couple other little things to start piecing this together. So one important feature about this particular high pressure pump for the reverse osmosis desalination is that it has an electric clutch, kind of like the clutch on your air conditioner in your car. So if this is run by the diesel engine, it doesn't have to run all the time. You could flip a switch and have it run on. You could flip a switch and have it turn off even while the engine's running. So that's kind of a good feature of this particular pump. On another note, I picked up 4 used aluminum portholes. I'll show you the ones in the boat. They're new and they're plastic, and half of them are broken. And to put new plastic ones in is $40 each. And if they're just going to be, you know, breakable like that, I don't want to put them back in. So I saw these and thought that would be the way to go, is to put something metal in there, something that'll last. New porthole, not broken. New porthole, not broken. New porthole. Broken. New porthole. Broken. New porthole. Broken. New porthole. Broken. All right, the sailboat is still there. The dinghy is still there. The old home, the cruiser, is still there. And the hot rod. The hot rod ski boat, I don't want to say it's still there, but it's still there. And it did not run too well. I was surprised when it fired up, but when I put it in gear, it stalled. So I'm not too surprised. Hang on, let me turn you guys around. Yeah, I'm not too surprised. It's very common to have the metering block, which is just a bunch of little passages for fuel and air to flow through. It's not common to have that block up, and I didn't clean it out. I cleaned it up, but didn't clean it out. So let's do that right now and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to take this bottom screw out. It's going to drip fuel out. Better to have it drip onto a rag. There it goes. See it coming out? You might not from where you're at. What came off is the metering block. Which I have to blow out, and the float bowl. And then I noticed that this right here is the accelerator pump, and I noticed it was pretty stiff. So I ordered a new one to put in, a new diaphragm to put in here. So let's go ahead and clean these two up. All right, so some of these older Holley carburetors had this kind of special screw. Under here is where the diaphragm for the accelerator pump is. Yeah, that unique screw head. I don't have a screwdriver to fit that, but I do have a small screwdriver. I think I can modify to work. All right, so I've got a angle grinder with a flat disc sander, and let me go get it. Oh, here it is. And a screwdriver. And all I need to do is thin this tip out a little bit, and I think it'll fit in there and do what I need it to do. All right, so here we go. Let me go check and make sure I haven't gone too far. All right, so far, not really working. Let's see here. What's the issue? It's camming out, so it's not square enough. If I can square that up. Still camming out a little bit. I'm going to try to square the tip. See how that works. So that's pretty good. But not perfect. Can I make it perfect? I don't want to go too far and unperfect it. No, it works. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now. You can see this is an old bent screwdriver, so nothing wrong with modifying it to work. And let me go check the bolt pattern and make sure it matches our new diaphragm before I tear into this. New diaphragm. Let's see if its bolt holes match up. Looks pretty good to me. Let's go ahead and do this. Four. A little bit of rust on the spring. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's see if the check valve is still in there and clear. All right, so there's a check valve, a little ball underneath the strap. Does not appear to be moving freely, and it should be moving freely. Let's get in there with a little something. Let's see if we can't free it up. Oh, yeah, it's free. Yep, it seals. that's good. So here it is in the housing. Here's the old diaphragm. Pretty stiff. Here's the new diaphragm. Let's match them up. Bingo. Perfect match. Oh, new one is way more flexible. Way more. Old one is like stiff like a cardboard. Alright, that's good. This was a good thing. Alright, so in with the spring, diaphragm cover and actuating lever. That's good. Oh yeah, it's way better. This will be good. Alright, so that's the accelerator pump. Yeah, that's so when you press on the gas, it doesn't stumble off idle. Alright, still shows, so the bowl still shows, oh, I'm going to guess that's, what's it called, calcium? Calcium. I'm going to guess that's calcium deposits from the water that has gotten in here over the years. And I originally said that I thought it was from like rain. Probably not, probably just from washdowns, from hosing the boat down. The top of the carburetor is open to the atmosphere, open to being struck with water. And like I said, when you're not applying throttle, it holds this open just a little bit, so that hole is wide. Come on, that hole is wide open, not wide open, but it's open to just let water dribble in there. And fuel floats on water, so this whole thing could fill with water, and the fuel would just be on the top. And the design of the carburetor is it draws from the bottom. So another thing I'm looking at is right here is the sight glass, and when we adjust these, sorry, this is upside down. When you adjust this nut, you adjust the level of this float inside when the engine is running, and you want it to just dribble out of this hole. And when I'm looking at, I flipped this upside down on purpose, and I'm looking at this line right here across this float bowl and where it is in relationship to that hole, and it looks to be potentially a little high. So we'll get this in the boat and then reset the float level. So now I'm going to go ahead and spray out the passages in the metering block. This is the metering block. The float bowl goes on one side. This is the main jets where, like I said, it sucks in fuel from the bottom of the bowl. This is your power valve, which let me check and see if it's good. So here's how I check. I push this in, my finger on top, and if I feel like it's holding suction, and it is, that means not ruptured. Because what happens is sometimes if you have a backfire, it can rupture the little rubber diaphragm within here, and then and then your engine floods. Because what this does is when you start your engine, the vacuum sucks this valve closed, and then when you're heavy on the throttle and on a lot of gas, it lets this open and adds more fuel to the airstream. Yeah, so this feels good to me. Yeah, it's holding. It's not ruptured, so that should be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray and clear out these passages. If you do this at home, this is not a how-to video, but if you do this at home, be careful because you could spray here and get squirt in the face somewhere else. Typically people blow these out with compressed air. I don't have any compressed air right now, so we are just going to use carburetor cleaner or brake parts cleaner, whatever I have. Right here is the idle mixture screw. I'm going to screw it in and see how far it is, see how far out it is. So we got half a turn, 1 turn, half a turn. It's usually about 2 turns, 2.5, 2 3/4 turns out. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and spray that as well. Looks fairly clean. A little bit of debris on there. Okay, starboard side. Screwing it in. Half a turn, 1 turn, half a turn, 2, 2.5. Oh, 2.5, not quite to 2 3/4. See how this one looks. That one's pretty clean too, so that's good. That could be a problem right there. This one. So this, when I spray this hole here, you see it comes out there. When I spray this hole, the same hole on the other side, not coming out from here. See where that came out from? Alright, so it came out from right here, and when I spray this side it doesn't come out from right there, so we've got a clog right there. That would definitely cause an issue. Get in there with the tip of this needle. Okay, I definitely felt it push something in. Let's see if it cleared it up. Stuck a bristle in there. Let's see if that cleared it up. You could definitely see a hole where there wasn't one before. Oh, I think we might have some love. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Ready? Let's try the other side. Yay! I think we found our problem. One thing I almost forgot is I'm going to screw these idle mixture screws back in again to just over 2.5 turns from the bottom. So we're going to screw it into the bottom, back it out, 2 and almost 3/4 turns. Okay. I'm going to fire that. We're going to and get that let go. And just there we go.
Checking for leaks. Not seeing anything.
I don't know if you heard me earlier. I did check for leaks, and there are no leaks on the input. There's no leak. Oh, hang on. Well, that might be from when I was loosening this. I don't think there's a leak down here, but my finger is wet. I'll double check that a little later. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to open this, and some fuel is going to come out of it. Oops, sorry. I'm going to open this. This is just the vent, or not the vent, sorry, the fuel bowl sight plug. And you set the fuel float level, again, with this setting here. And it should just barely come out of here. So right now it's a little bit too high. So I need to turn this clockwise. Need to turn it clockwise for it to lower it. So I'm going to go ahead and lower it a couple turns, pull that sight plug, and then fire it up and see if it's still coming out. I'll go ahead and leave this rolling. Let's put you guys back up in your perch. There we go. Right around there. Quarter. Half. Let's call it one full turn. Tighten that down. Go ahead and pull the sight plug. Put this down here to catch any fuel that comes out. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna fire the engine up, see if fuel comes out of that sight plug. If it does, I'm gonna turn the engine off, lower it again. If it does not, I'm gonna leave it running and then slowly raise the level until a little bit dribbles out of there. Okay, I'm very happy with that. That's perfect. So I'm just showing you guys, when it's sitting here not running, that little valve is open. So I focus on that. Yeah, see how that's open? And as soon as gas is applied, as soon as I step on the gas, it closes that little valve. So every time I wash the boat and sprayed water on that, it's gone right down into that hole. So note to self, don't do that. The old girl is pretty dirty. So let's put some water and a brush on her and go take her for a rip. Being careful not to spray the engine down with water. Granted, it's wet and ultra shiny because it's wet, but literally 5 minutes later, it is a whole new boat. And when she dries, she won't be quite that shiny, but she will be that clean. Let's go take her for a rip, see how she does. Last time I put it in, and when I got, before I got to the slip, it ran after trying to start it for a while, which I'm sure you saw by now. And then I put it in gear and it didn't want to run, so I'm a little hesitant to push off, but I'm feeling confident that it's good. So this boat's a bit of a relic. Hang on. So as I was saying, this boat's a bit of a relic. You can't really shift into neutral and reverse and forward. You have to turn it off, put it in gear, and then start it. That's just the way they did it back in the 60s and early 70s. And even today in some of the race boats. I wonder if this will turn. I'm looking at Elsie right now. And that's a big boat. Anyway, let's go take this for a rip and see what we see.
Dancing on some beach deck, freedom's calling, no life to check. We are the children of Neptune's court, naked souls in the ocean sport, living wild where the trade winds blow. This is home, all we need to know. Shellbacks gathered round firelight, tales of mermaids and stars so bright, sun-bronzed bodies and weathered hands, sharing stories of distant lands. Anchor dropped in a hidden bay, where the world just melts away. No boundaries between sea and skin. Let the ocean take us in. Community of wandering souls, bound by waves and tidal rolls. We are the children of Neptune's court, naked souls in the ocean sport, living wild where the trade winds blow. This is home, all we need to know. Morning comes with the dolphins dance, giving life one more precious chance to dive deep in the azure blue, where the ancient secrets ring true. This is freedom in purest form.